A warm welcome to all of you, lovers of social justice, righteous struggle, and music, who are gathered here today to honor and celebrate the life and work of songwriter and musician Woody Guthrie. I'm Barbaralee Diamonstein-Spielvogel, the chair of the Historic Landmarks Preservation Center and the New York City Landmarks 50 Alliance, an organization of 103 distinguished and dedicated individuals and organizations committed to informing the public about the past, present, and future of historic preservation in our city. Our thanks go to the Historic Districts Council, represented today by Frampton Tolbert, the Deputy Director, who so ably assists us in wending our way through the city application process and installing the cultural medallion itself. Thank you, as always, Frampton. And to SW Management and to Howard Dublin, our thanks as well. And Anna Canoni, without your central driving force, it would have been almost impossible to finally put this together. So our thanks to you. Born in 1912, Woodrow Wilson Guthrie, Woody, as he became known to millions, arrived in New York City in 1940 and was soon recognized for his homespun wisdom and authentic life experiences. While traveling the country during the Great Depression, recording Dust Bowl ballads for RCA Victor, he became a vital part of New York City's growing folk music scene. He played and collaborated with friends like Leadbelly, Pete Seeger, and Burl Ives. Often a wanderer, this apartment at 74 Charles Street was the first that he and Marjorie Mazia called home from December 1942 to May of 1943, and where he wrote several notable songs, including Give Me a Nail and Be No Church Tonight. Taking his cue from his own painful personal experience, Woody developed a new type of music that addressed the struggles of the average American. His music, so long a part of the American psyche, remains a touchstone for all generations interested in exploring the relationship between the personal and the political through song. Our very lovely program today includes family members and musicians. And I'd like to begin by introducing Nora Guthrie. Please come up. Nora is the daughter of Marjorie Mazia and Woody Guthrie.
Those are some notes.
As president, if you can read them, you're better than I am.
I'm telling you.
Is president of the Woody Guthrie Foundation and Woody Guthrie Publications. Like her mother, she had a notable career in songbook of original lyrics and illustrations, and co-produced with her brother Arlo Modern Dance in 1992. She began to preserve her father's legacy by publishing a lost Grammy-nominated album. 2 years later, that was when?
And we won.
2 years.
Not just nominated. We won.
2 years later, she co-founded the Woody Guthrie Archives and now manages and produces projects which expand Woody's cultural legacy, including a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame museum tribute in 1996, a Smithsonian Institution traveling exhibition service exhibition in 1998 entitled, not surprisingly, This Land is Your Land, the life and legacy of Woody Guthrie. More recently, In 2013, in collaboration with Douglas Brinkley and Johnny Depp, they released House of Earth, an unpublished manuscript written by Woody 66 years earlier in 1947. Nora.
So I know everybody here, so the introduction wasn't even necessary. But I do want to thank you all for coming, because it's not every day you get a plaque, especially in this town. And I do appreciate all the paperwork that you had to probably go through to get this. So you're the hero today, actually. I love this particular location for a few reasons. Woody actually lived in probably 20 different locations around the 5 boroughs of New York in the first decade or so, from 1940 to 1955, actually. But this one is really special because it's actually the very first apartment that he signed the lease on himself. Before that, he kind of crashed with a lot of different friends. He was kind of couch surfing with the Almanac Singers and with Will Geer and various sundry other people around town. But this is the place he decided would really be his nest for a while. And he called this apartment El Rancho del Sol. And at the time when he took this apartment, he had fallen in love with a young dancer who was in the Martha Graham Company at the time, and that was my mother, Marjorie Mazia. And this is where they rendezvoused. So it has a lot of heartfelt meaning to me, actually. If it wasn't for the nice conditions of this apartment, I might not have been here today. It was like, obviously, they felt quite at home here. The other thing that was really interesting is that he had this apartment when the previous group that he was with, that I'm sure you all know, the Almanac Singers, who became the Weavers in the 1950s, but the original core of the Almanac Singers that lived down on 10th Street in Greenwich Avenue here. And that group had busted up with a war starting and different kinds of things happening. And Woody wanted to start up a group again. And he formed his own band called Woody Guthrie's Headline Singers. And he actually signed contracts with these singers. And the performers in his group were Sonny Terry, Brownie McGee, and Leadbelly, and Woody. That was the quartet, the Headline Singers. They rehearsed in this apartment many, many nights, and we actually have some of the old rehearsal tapes in the Woody Guthrie archives, not exactly from this location, but you can really hear the sound of these guys jamming all through the night. From Woody's records, we understand that they drank a lot during the rehearsals, and the rehearsals would go on for many hours and days, and they would cook pork hams or ham hocks and different kinds of things. But you can imagine what an incredible sound it might have been if you were walking down on a summer night and the windows were open and you hear Woody, Leadbelly, Sonny, and Brownie coming out of the top floor up here. It was apartment 5FE, which I've been told was up on the 5th floor there and to the right, actually, of this apartment building.
Why don't you show them a rent receipt?
Yeah, so here's the most astounding thing about the apartment. We have I'm going to introduce Tiffany also. This is Tiffany Colanino, who is the archivist, the Woody Guthrie archivist, and worked on gathering together all this information on Woody's locations in this little book that we have called My New York. My Name is New York. And we put together 19 different addresses in the 5 boroughs. And that's how we found this location, actually, by going through all the papers. So Tiffany did a lot of the research with me. The original receipt we have published in this book. The most amazing thing about the receipt is the rent. It's $27 to live here in 1943. So I guess that's why he was here. I want to thank you very much for putting up a plaque. I think it's really nice to have Woody and everything he stood for, and all of his comrades represented in the village as well. When people walk by, it's very important for them to understand the vibe of the village at that time, when there were hootenannies going on and music, always tied to the political movement, to union organizing, etc. So it's really nice to have that whole story. Maybe it'll tweak somebody's interest. Some young kid walking by will look into it like, oh, I didn't know, when did he live here? What was he doing? He was writing All You Fascists Bound to Lose. That's what he was doing. And again, I'm going to return to the love theme of this story because I had the privilege of working with an artist a number of years ago on a new album of Woody's lyrics from the archives. And her focus, in particular, she was drawn to Woody's love songs, which at the time were not very well known. And so this is El Rancho del Sol.
Thank you very much. I was especially interested in your political comments and hope that some passersby would take note of that too. There are many distinguished guests here today, but I'd like to call out one of them, David Amram, who has created an opera based on the work of Woody Guthrie, and among his many other talents. But he has been a participant in two other cultural medallion ceremonies. One for Odetta, that was one of the best jam fests I've been to, other than Miles Davis, in a long time. And the other one in Queens for his friend Jack Kerouac. So I'd like to introduce to you Jonathan Brooke, who I assume many of you know well. She has been writing songs and making records and touring since her early days in Boston with her band, The Story. In 1995, she released the first of two solo albums, Plum, followed by 10 Cent Wings. In 1999, she started her own independent label, Bad Dog Records, and combined previously unheard, unpublished Woody Guthrie lyrics with her own music and arrangements. Jonathan has co-written songs with Katy Perry for her forthcoming album, Prism, and with the Courtyard Hounds, big dog motif, for their current release. She has written a one-woman musical play in 2 acts that will open at the Duke Theater sometime in the spring.
February 13th. 12th.
The Duke Theater right next to Spider-Man, so you'll know where it is. And it has the arresting title, My Mother Has 4 Noses. So we look forward to that, but first of all, thank you for coming, and we look forward to your performance today.
I thought I'd start with Sweetest Angel, which, if I'm correct, Nora, I remember when I was in the archives, Nora would tell me stories about her dad as I was falling deeply in love with him. And she would tell me, no, it's okay, everyone does this, even the guys. But I think you told me that when he met your mom, one of the things that just got her over the edge was that the very first time they were together for the night, he didn't try to go all the way. He knew enough to just stay close, hold her hand, and listen. And I think, am I right? That was the clincher. So there's a line in this song which always makes me think of that, where he says, "Let me come as close as I can. Let me bring my scattered pages. Let me lie down here beside you tonight, and I will whisper, all this world is made of love, and you were sent from heaven above. You're the sweetest angel in this world." And I always think of that night. And I imagine that furnace between them when I sing this song. It's also become Woody's great-granddaughter's nighty-night song. sweetest angel in this world. You're the sweetest angel. When I hold you by your hand, I'm in my happy promised land. And when you whisper in the dark, I'm just as happy as a lark. So let me come as close as I can, lay me down beside you. Here's a word I'd like to whisper, like to have you listen. 'Cause all this world is made of love. You are fresh from heaven above, yeah. You're the sweetest angel in this world. You're the sweetest angel in this world. You're the sweetest angel in this world. Sweetest angel. So let me come as close as I can. Let me bring my scattered pages. Let me lay down here beside you tonight, and I will whisper, all this world is made of love. You are fresh from heaven above. You're the sweetest angel in this world. You're the sweetest angel in this world. You're the sweetest angel in this world. You're the sweetest angel. You're the sweetest angel. You're the sweetest angel. And this, I'm going to sing one more song. It's an honor to be here. Thank you all for including me.
Thank you for being here.
This is a song that I begged and begged Nora, I need these lyrics, I must do this song, I have to have this song. It didn't make it onto the record, but it's still, I don't know, it's everything and the kitchen sink. It's my all-time favorite. It's that bluster of infatuated love. It's the desperation of, is it true? And I just love this song. So it's called You and I. And I think didn't he write it kind of around this time? So I like to think that maybe he wrote it up there, or on the fire escape.
Sitting on the fire.
Probably sitting on the fire escape. So there's tons of words, so I'm cheating. I'll try not to trip. You are my high road, you are my low road. I am your city, you are my town. You are my northland, I am your southland. I am your teardrops, you are my cloud. You are my fast horse, you are my high prize. I am your fingers, you are my hand. You are my sunshine, I am your starlight. I am your woman and you are my man. You and I. You and I. 'Cause you are my firefly, I am your nighthawk, I am your dance, you are my song. You are my canyon, I am your cliff rock. We are the right, and we are the wrong. I am your midnight, midnight, dark night. I am your heaven, you are my hell. You are my dreams and I am your visions. I live in steeples and you live in bells. You and I. You and I.
myself in the light that calls to myself that gets lost in the dark. My tangled world, my lostness and foundness. You are my ocean, you are my heart. I'll kiss your wild winds, you kiss my rainstorms. I'll kiss your flowers, you fill my vase. I'll be your tall drink and I'll be your clear thing. You kiss my future and I'll kiss your past. You be my wing spread, you be my high head. I'll be your apple, you be my plum. You be my workday, I'll be your always. I'll be your swift wind blowing you home. You and I. Sound of myself in the light that calls to myself that gets lost in the dark. My tangled world, my lostness and foundness. You are my ocean, you are my heart. You are the sound of myself in the light that calls to myself that gets lost in the dark. My tangled world, my lostness and foundness. You are my ocean, you are my heart.
Thank you so much.
And now we have a very special guest who knew and worked with Woody Guthrie, the folk music icon, Oscar Brand. Author of books on folk music. Author of books on folk music, including The Ballad Mongers, Rise of the American Folk Song, Songs of 76, A Folk Singer's History of the Revolution, and Bawdy Songs and Backroom Ballads. Mr. Brand has been hosting the radio show Oscar Brand's Folk Song Festival every Saturday at 10 p.m. on WNYC AM 820 in New York City. It is now in its 68th year. The show has run more or less continuously since its debut on December 10th, 1945. Oscar Brand will say a few words about his experiences with Woody and will honor us with a performance as well. Thank you very much for joining us.
This is new for me. I kind of resigned a few years ago because I had a bad knee, and I got it in the war.
Oh, sir.
I got it in the war. And we won, which made me very sad to begin with. So I came here because I felt I owed the public a tremendous debt because nobody killed me. One guy did, but and I'm very, very grateful. But the person who really deserves the credit is a young man who at the time, Woody Guthrie, and Woody went into the Army. He didn't fight anybody, didn't kill anybody, and then he went into the Navy, and then he went back. And no matter what he did it because he had a need to be right, to be good, to be sweet, to be honest. There aren't many people like that. I'm not one of them. But either I just rolled up or it rolled down. Anybody see it?
No, it's right here.
Oh, thank you. No, I brought my wife.
Well, maybe she can come help. But how'd you like to sing something?
Actually, she's a lawyer, and she came out of a very important, was it an important thing? Very important thing.
I'm happy that she's here.
And you're very fortunate that I haven't hit you yet with this thing. Watch out. Art, now I'm not here as a performer, because every day I perform, and I do it because I love it. And even when I stopped performing, which I did for a long see what happens? See? This beautiful voice, I come to the streets where I used to grow up. I had one of those buildings. It was very nice, but it's not the same. It's not the same. This is it, and the other one is not. I didn't know what this, I was going to sing for you a song that I had just written. Yeah. Gotta remember, I haven't been playing. I'm 93 years old, and nobody here is supposed to make any difference in it. You're nice. I don't even know him. Wait, there's another one, Shh, don't say a word. And two on a bicycle. I don't know. This place has really changed. So anyway, I wrote a song just before coming here in the cab. Ordinarily, I would have walked. And it goes, well, you have to understand it. When I wanted me to sing about Woody, you can't sing about Woody. Impossible. Impossible. And thank goodness he was here for a long time. I wish I washed the little buggy bee. Oh, I had to tell you, I was in the middle of writing songs for children. So these may be a little bit too much. So those of you who want to get closer, please do. I wish I was a buggy bee. I wish I was a bee. No, that's the wrong one. That's the Buggy Bee song, Karen. I wish I was. Well, it's hard to learn a new song. It took me about 85 years to learn the other ones.
You can sing an old one.
What?
You can sing an old song.
I can do anything I want. The whole point is, when you start to sing, you discover you can't. And I've been doing it for years. The reason is, first of all, I was about to sing a song and I forgot it. Secondly, I didn't like the song in the first place, because it says, well, you don't care what it says. It doesn't make it. But I learned most of my songs from the people around me, the good people of this area. I was really Canadian, so I would go to Canada about every 3 or 4 weeks to get money to come back and do it here. And I loved it. I loved it, which is something to do. Go someplace else. When you've got someplace else, stop there for a while, and somebody will sing your songs. The songs, I don't know, like, what songs do I know, Karen, you know?
Red Wing?
Red Wing? Johnny, do you know what he did to wear Red Wing? He made it a questionable song. There once was a Union maid who never was afraid of the goons and the ginks and the company finks and the deputy sheriff who made the raid. Is there more to it? The meeting it was called, and when the Union man come around, he always stood his ground. Oh, he can't scare me, I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to the Union. Oh, I can't scare me, I'm sticking to the Union. I'm sticking to somebody out there can't even hear me. You lucky person. This Union, wait a minute, it goes differently. It goes, this Union maid was wise to the man. That's a good part.
She always organized the guys.
She always had a way when she got to higher pay. put your hand over there.
And this is what she said.
All right. Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me. Sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. There's reasons for that. There's more to it. Oh, there's much more to it. Don't applaud now. Well, I'll come back next week. The whole point is, you're on the gutter. You're on these things. And in all the years I worked and sang here, the worst I sat was on steps. And so when they had that famous story, the one that died in the Groucho Ruin, you know, the gotta have this, I can't do it without it. But I will tell you about Woody, one of the finest men that ever lived. He believed that he owed the world. He owed the world, and he paid it off little by little and a lot. And sometimes I would say, Woody, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he would say, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. And one day he said to me, you have to go to some place in the Middle West. And I said, why? He said, because you don't know, all you know is Canada. And I said, yes. He said, go there to the woods and you'll meet a man with an outfit and everything, and ask him how he is, and when you come back, you'll tell me how I am. Or something like that. I went all the way out there. I hitchhiked as usual. I got in, I put in my shoes around my neck, everything. And when I got there, I went to the big place where they have all the people gathering around, and especially those that have money. So I went towards them. But when I got closer, I heard what they were talking about, and it was more money. And that's all they knew was more money. So I turned around. Oh, by the way, he was a policeman. That was Woody's policeman. I didn't know Woody had a policeman in the family. And it was not very good for me because the policeman was still looking for me. Watch out for the policeman. Okay? They're fine people, most of them, but watch out for the old ones. And I went back to New York and I said to Woody, we were doing a television show that I'd got him into. I said, Woody, what are you doing this for? You put me in a corner where I had to go all the way out there, come back here, and look for you. And he said, wait. I said, he was on the phone. And I said, what are you doing? Why are you talking to me from a distance? He said, I'm in California. So I said, what are you doing in California? We were doing a show, a real television show, and I got him with a violin to be on it, which we often do, and he was in California. So I turned to the three guys, they were the fellows who had the big television show, and I said, my people are coming tomorrow afternoon. And they said, yes, we know, he's been here twice. It was different from the old days. In the old days, we were ready to do anything and to have a great time. And if you don't have a great time when you're young, wait until you get old. That's all I ask. And the rest of the thing is, I didn't come here to sing or to talk or anything, just to see who was going to be here. And my wife came with me, which was a big surprise. And you were very good.
You are excellent. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, your songs, your stories. It's a privilege to have you here. Thank you all. Now, I'm going to talk about, be careful please, about cultural medallions. There are about 100 of them in place all throughout New York City. The next medallion will be installed on November 13th at 11 a.m. for the distinguished architectural critic Ada Louise Huxtable at 969 Park Avenue. And on December 12th at 11 a.m. for former Mayor Edward I. Koch at 2 Fifth Avenue. And you are all invited to attend those and any other cultural medallion ceremonies. So these are porcelainized enamel plaques that are affixed to the exterior of buildings to commemorate an individual or an occurrence that has made a significant contribution to New York City's rich cultural heritage and to create a sense of pride in our history. By the way, most of these people or events are nominated by members of the public. So if you have verifiable information, excuse me, I know of an individual who has made a contribution, a remarkable contribution, please let us know. To learn more about our programs, you can see HLPC culturalmedallions.org, and you will learn about that, and you can make the nomination online, and we will be back to you. And now I'm going to ask Frampton Culver and Deborah Burchad to unveil this cultural medallion and read to us the text.
Woody Guthrie. Woody Guthrie, July 14th, 1912 to October 3rd, 1967. Woodrow Wilson Woody Guthrie, composer of This Land Is Your Land, wrote over 3,000 songs in his lifetime and is considered a father of American folk music. Known as the Dust Bowl Balladeer, he was born in Okemah, Oklahoma, and spent years traveling throughout the U.S. before moving to New York City in 1940. Guthrie lived here from December 1942 to May 1943, where he wrote patriotic, anti-fascist songs supporting the U.S. role in World War II and played music with such friends as blues icon Lead Belly, Sonny Terry, and Brownie McGhee. Guthrie helped popularize a new approach to songwriting, telling stories of hardship and hopes, where topics included workers' rights, social injustices, historical events, civil rights, and political issues became the foundation for his musical creativity and expression. He wrote more than 3,000 songs, and his influences inspired generations of musicians in every genre of music.
Thank you, Frampton. Thank you, Frampton, and thank you, Guthrie family. And thanks to each and all of you for joining us here today. We hope we hear from you, and we hope to see you again. And thank you, Jonathan Brooke. It's a wonderful program. Thank you.